You're about to watch a video that's an excerpt of one of my online courses, free sample if you will. If you enjoy it, please get in touch, dan@brojo.org, and let me know what you think. So coming to the end of this course, I've given you everything you need. I'm very certain of that. I've been working with nice guys and people pleasers in their recovery for many years now, and I'm in recovery myself. I know what works and what doesn't. The biggest issue you're going to have with this course is the same issue you've had your entire life. It's all about whether or not you take action on it, whether or not you will change your behavior and do things that you're unfamiliar with and uncomfortable with in order to change your life. If you don't do that, this course can't help you. The information doesn't help you. All it does is put more pressure on you to know what to do. If you put it into action, it will help you. I'm sure of that. Absolutely, I can guarantee that. But if you don't take those actions, it can't help you. Now, this brings up something that I wanted to finish the course with. You may be at this point looking back over your life, especially if you have started taking transformative action, and having some regrets, some grief maybe, of a life that you missed out on. I remember going through this specific phase in my journey where I realized, after being honest for a while, how much of my life I had lost through dishonesty, how many opportunities had passed me by, how far behind I was and what I could have been. That kind of thinking where I could be this amazing person by now, but I've frittered it away trying to get approval from other people. And I was angry at myself. I was angry at my past self for letting me down, for leaving me in this position where I'm having to catch up and start over again in my 30s, So in this video, let's wrap it up by just talking about forgiveness. Talking about the idea that you could not have gotten here any quicker than you did. And it's great that you're at least here now. There's that old Chinese proverb, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Guilt, resentment, regret, anger, all of those things you feel about yourself, it's misdirected. It's based on another limiting belief that we haven't discussed here, and that is the idea that the past could have gone differently. It's simply not true. Time machines have not been invented. You were always doing the best that you knew how to do. Since the day you were born, you've always strived to do the best that you know how. The limit to what you know isn't your fault. You can only know what you know. There's nothing you can do about that other than seek more information, which has brought you here. So you've done everything you can do. Every opportunity you missed, it might look like a failure. It might look like something you're ashamed of, but that was all you could do in that situation. That was the limit of your problem-solving ability. It was the limit of your courage. It was the limit of your integrity in that moment. You've got to remember, nice guy syndrome, people-pleasing, is the development of a strategy that a child made up, all right? The stuff that traumatized us into these syndromes happened when we were very young. The human brain doesn't even finish developing, especially for males, until we're like in our 20s. And we were coming up with this strategy before the age of 5. Did you know a lot of the reason that you have all of these symptoms is because of stuff that happened to you before you turned 3 years of age? The early development stuff. Maybe you were told off for crying. Maybe somebody was always stressed and angry in the home and you felt like you had to fix it. Stuff you don't even remember. The strategy was forming from day one as you became aware of your environment and started asking yourself, how do I make this feel safer? And you started developing a strategy. Now, I have a young daughter. I can already see her figuring out how to make people happier than they are. She's already learning. I hope to stop her becoming a full-blown people pleaser, but I can see that she's trying to figure out how to make the environment feel safer for her and try to figure out how to make everyone feel happy. Nice guy syndrome is a protective strategy. There were things hurting you when you were a child, and that child did the best they could to protect themselves. That is to say, your past self did everything they could to protect you. The reason you're in the position now to watch this entire course through to the end and hopefully take the actions is because you're standing on the shoulders of your past self. They took all the hits. They went through all the trials and tribulations. They suffered for you. To be angry at them, to want to harm them, to be disappointed in them, it's the opposite of what they deserve. They held you up. They're holding you up now. Now, of course, you can see now with hindsight that they did everything wrong, but they didn't know that. They thought they were doing everything right. They always thought that. How can you be upset with someone who genuinely believes they're doing the right thing and doesn't know any better? Because that's how you feel about your past self. Arrested development is a psychological term that describes how our emotional or psychological development stops at a certain age prematurely. For most nice guys and people pleasers, we're talking about early teens. At some point, our people-pleasing strategy finally worked as best that it was ever going to, and so we just stopped developing. We just go, I'll stop here. We're like teenagers in adult bodies, all pretending that we've grown up. Peter Pan syndrome. Everyone you look out at, all these adults with their suits and ties and all their professionalism and their house and their mortgage and their kids, they look like adults, but they're not in here. A vast majority of the people you see have arrested developments. They stopped at a strategy that made them feel safe, and they haven't moved on since. At least you are trying to move on. You're trying to actually mature into an adult. You can't do anything about the fact that your development was arrested, but you can release it from prison now. It's time to start getting things moving again, start developing more, and transition from child or teenager through to adult, finally. So your past self was trying to protect you. They were doing the best they knew how, and now it's time to put them to rest. Their job is done. Their strategy no longer works. It's time to file it away in the memories cabinet and develop a new strategy for living. Hopefully one with integrity, with courage and bravery, one where you're actually being yourself instead of trying to make people like you. That strategy got you here, kept you alive, you survived, and it's time to put it to rest. So rather than looking at your past self as someone who held you back, think of it as the vehicle that got you here, and now you're going to leave that vehicle behind and drive off in a brand new car. Are you a nice guy or people pleaser who wishes they were more assertive, more honest, and better respected by others? Since 2013, I've been helping people just like you discover their integrity and apply it courageously to build deep and meaningful connections, get respected by others, and become the confident person you've always wanted to be. Imagine being able to speak your mind without worrying what other people will think or worrying that it's the right thing to say, and being able to assertively stand up for yourself and your loved ones. Imagine never feeling the need to apologize for who you are or what you want, and being able to live carefree without shame or the I'm not good enough story in your head. Imagine going to bed knowing that you courageously took every opportunity available to you and you've got no regrets because you always know what you should be doing in every situation. I'm so confident in my ability to help people like you unleash your highest level of self-worth that I give people a free coaching session to test what I'm doing. In this 1-hour session, we will uncover the biggest barrier to your confidence, whether it's an awareness problem, you don't know what you should be doing differently, or it's a courage problem, you know what you should be doing, but you find it too intimidating. I will guide you to make a breakthrough with your behavior to get through that barrier in a powerful way without feeling terrified and without destroying everything you love. I've had some people find this first session so powerful that I never hear from them again simply because they didn't need anything more after that. It launched them into the highest level of confidence that they've ever experienced. And if that's the result you get, I'm good with that. One client put it, this session was more valuable to me than 3 years of therapy combined. So if you're tired of trying to keep everybody happy and you're sick of worrying what other people think of you, and you're concerned that your people-pleasing and conflict avoidance is going to damage your relationships, then come and have a talk with me. Worst case scenario, you get to experience what it's like to talk with someone who actually understands what it's like to be you. I've lived the nice guy experience for decades. I know it inside and out. I know that pain. Worst case scenario, and very likely, you will have such a powerful insight into a behavioral change that you can make in the next 24 hours to significantly improve your confidence, relationships, and career. All I ask is that you be honest, open to change, and willing to try something new. Why wait another 10 years to discover confidence when you can do it today? Fill out the brief form below to apply for a trial coaching session. Do this quickly because there are limited spots each month, and then I'll get back to you to book in a time to talk.